It's that time of the week again where I sit down and chat with you guys if you show up. Saturday, 5, 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Got my non alcoholic beverage. This one is called Rastinger. Grapefruit taste. Let's see. Let's see what this does to me. Anyways, hopefully somebody will show up. Usually on Saturday, people know I do live stream, so hopefully somebody will be here. If not, then I'll have to do it tomorrow. Inshallah. Check out my beard, man. Check it out. It's growing, the mustache. Wait a second. Can you see it? It's really growing. Anyways, mashallah. So, welcome everybody. I'm gonna open up this non-alcoholic beverage. Smells good. And yeah, chat it up. Today I want to talk about a great topic, so stick around. It's gonna be about the best reminders that will forever keep you on the deen, on the straight path, on the path of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some of the best reminders that I noticed always come up. Whether and these reminders can actually awaken your fitra as an atheist or somebody who didn't believe in God, like me. They sort of awakened within me the belief, and then also once you are a practicing Muslim or you are born to it or something, and you feel down or you feel like something's not right, they also work then. So, cheers. Anyways. Let me know if I can see any comments. Oh, there was a comment. Anyways, how are you guys doing? Hopefully, some of you will show up. So I'm gonna be a bit slower today because I want people to be here and to have a conversation with me because maybe you guys have great ideas about these things and we can have a good discussion. This can actually save us at the end of the day, save our faith, which is quite important, I would say. So, how's your weekend? What's going on? Hopefully, you had a nice Saturday, or maybe you're just in the middle of Saturday. I don't know. Let me know where are you, which part of the world, what time zone. How's your week? How's your dean doing? Would love to hear. This is good. I'm gonna buy more of these grapefruit taste. It looks like a beer. Even have a German name, Rastinger, but actually it's not a beer. Assalamu alaikum. So, alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, Samira. I assume you're a sister. Am I correct? Maybe I'm not. Maybe you're a man, but according to the first name, I don't know. Anyways, thank you. Salam alaikum, Joe. Oh, really, Muhammad? So you're basically, this is like a nighttime for you. Masha. Alaikum salam, Hafiz. Where are you from, guys? Which part of the universe? No, I guess which part of the world, which part of the Ummah are you from? I'm a sister. I'm in Sweden, 6:59 p.m. Hey, that's the same time zone. We're both in Central Europe. I guess you're more north, and it's more darker because we're here in the middle. Weekend's going good, mashallah. I was just playing the basketball with a brother from the mosque. He doesn't know how to play. I don't know how to play well. We played against two Americans. Now the Americans were actually playing with us, so they took one of us and they played really well. And we were like embarrassed. Anyways, it was a good game. So I have a very nice weekend. And later today, I'm gonna catch some football game with the boys in this Ummah. UK is in the house. Kerala, yeah, that's South Indian. South Indian. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam, alaikum salam. I'm from Nigeria. Mashallah. I have a friend in Nigeria. Which part of Nigeria? Let me know. From India. Which part of India? Let me know. There's many Muslims in India, even though it's a secular country. Pretty interesting. Anyways, thank you guys for stopping by. This is crazy. Like, I still can't believe that sometimes I go live or I do these videos, and some people watch it. Like, what? Why would you watch a guy like me make a video? But anyways, it's nice, and I definitely don't take this for granted. So thank you so much. And I had a great week. I learned a lot of things about Islam again. I'm researching a lot of Sharia, a lot of fatwas. I did a lot of podcasts, and I'll tell you guys what's going to happen next with in terms of my guests. As I did a podcast with Hamza, the historian. We went over different schools of thought in Madhab, Hanafi, and all that stuff. We looked at Sharia in the West, in the modern society, and it was really interesting. And I'm gonna talk more about. I'm gonna have more people of knowledge talk about the history and different applications of Islam, because that's really interesting for me. And then I had this Adam, who's a Czech Muslim. We went to a mosque, and it was, mashallah, it's good. And we have a video on YouTube. So there were some good comments, a lot of them good, majority. There was one guy, listen to this. I wanted to report him to police. There was one Russian dude who wrote a comment under the video of me and the Czech Muslim that you both are kind of like traitors to your, not ethnicity, to the country or something like that. And I will take my knife and you will feel the blade of the knife in the stomachs as I like cut you or something. And I'm like, really, dude, that's a bit strong. What did I do to you, man? I didn't do anything. Like, I'm not doing anything, right? And so I was like, man, I'm gonna report him to YouTube police or something. And then nothing happened. I know it's some lame guy drinking vodka in Russia somewhere. Anyways, it's funny to get these kind of threats. I don't take them seriously. But these people, what do they do to say something disgusting like that? Strange. Kerala, hey, Kerala is in the house. Southwest Nigeria, Ibadan, nice. Is there any mosque in your country? Because I saw an article on TRT World when there are no mosques. Yep. But here I live in the Czech Republic, and we have 3 to 4 mosques. I mainly hang out in the Algerian mosque. My bros from Algeria know. I know everybody there. So I'm in the Algerian gang. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's there are 3 or 4 mosques in the Czech Republic. So yeah, we have mosques, many Muslims. Maybe he's communist. Who's communist? The Czech guy? Or the Russian guy? Oh, the Russian guy? Maybe. I don't know. These trolls too much. Yeah. I mean, there are trolls in every ideology, every school of thought, but it's just funny. Anyways, the topic here is something really important because, I don't know, I feel good. I feel like my iman is growing every day, and I didn't have any major doubts or anything like that coming up. Because I'm learning, and the more you learn about Islam, really in depth, in whatever capacity you want to go through, whether you're learning to speak Arabic and you're, reciting the Quran, that's one way to go. This is too much advanced right now for me. Whether you're looking into, comparison with Christianity, you're studying the Bible, it's very important to study different religions so that you are grounded in knowing that you are in the truth. Like, this is important to know. You can't be ignorant. You can't be on blind faith because your iman will be shaken easily. So you have to have very good foundation. I mean, I'm talking about my point of view as a revert. Like, I don't have anyone in my family, anyone to remind me of Islam. So I have to ground myself in the knowledge that I have. And I'm pretty confident in it, like pretty confident. However, there's always some new things coming up. And I think it's important for born Muslims to know this. Like you guys can't have blind faith, because at some point you will doubt something in Islam, and you must know how to deal with those things. And it's very important. And I think the reminders, of things you already know are also important to know. To do, because sometimes we recite Al-Fatiha, or we recite a few things from the Quran, but you really don't ponder over it, or you don't really understand the meaning and the message behind it. And many Muslims, over the history, if you just study history, look at the deen of Islam, it's perfect, but they apply it and they do crazy things with it. In terms of maybe just a few examples, I know a few brothers who had problems because, let's say, they were raised in Pakistan. And what they did when they were in the Quran school, they were beating them as kids. The imams were beating them for not being able to pronunciate something. This is clearly forbidden. Like, if you look at the relationship that the Prophet had with his children, it's not like that. And it's not from Islam. But these cultures take Islam and make it strange sometimes. And they create these sects, these different things. Like, I've heard about a sect where they pray directly to Fatima. Like, what? And these things are man-made. Like, this is the problem. Anyways, I'm not talking about that, but I'm just talking about your really core foundations. I think for a born Muslim, they are stronger than mine. But sometimes I know Muslims who are fasting, who are doing all these things, but they didn't know why. Like, how can you do that? Like, it's pretty important to understand why you pray. Why do you do this? Why you pray 5 times a day? Why are you a Muslim? Why are you not Christian? Why are you not atheist? So yeah. And I would like to hear your thoughts. I would like to hear what grounds you, what is like the best reminder of Allah that makes you really grounded in your faith. And feel free to shoot anything at me, and we can discuss this. I'm gonna just give you one reminder that I always keep in these live streams, because it's a simple one, and everybody knows what I mean when I say this. The reminder is simple. It's death. Death is the destroyer of all pleasures. And we can see this reminder constantly in the Qurans, constantly in the Hadiths, constantly on our mind. And when I was getting into Islam first, like a year and a half ago, that's the reminder that was hitting it home very much for me, because as an atheist, I didn't have no anchorage to think about death. It was the end. That's the end. I'm not talking about some romantic idea of living forever, like dying and like in a Christian way, but really thinking deeply, pondering over death. And it's a great reminder to remind yourself, like, hey, soon, very soon, most of us will die. Most people will say this is a depressing thought, but really we should not live our lives without thinking about it. Like, how can you be ignorant of that? I was just recently listening to a few, some scholars on YouTube as well talking about this, and they said, like, how can one who knows that they will die, how can he enjoy this dunya? How can you still enjoy the dunya with the knowledge that one day you will die and stand in front of Allah? How can you do that? And it's not to say that you have to, not dislocate, but you have to not live in this dunya, not live in this world and enjoy everything you have. Of course, this is not haram, but it's just a great reminder. Every time you feel down, every time you feel weak, think about what is the alternative. Like, think about, like, if you were an atheist, what would you do with the concept of death? This thought will make you depressed beyond comprehension. You can talk to any atheist who left atheism and went to Islam, and just listen to what they have to say, how it led them to nihilism. It really leads you to nothing, to conclude that the difference between me killing myself and me living is nothing, because it doesn't matter. And that's the truth in atheism. If you're a communist, it's the same. It's communism and atheism are similar ideologies, where the individual doesn't really matter. They don't have a soul. And these things you have to understand, the reminder that you're gonna die is very strong, and it's something I always keep reminding myself, because sometimes I get lost in this dunya and I don't think about it. And then I hear someone saying like, never forget that, never forget that. Every day, every hour, every minute, not every second, but every, let's say, hour, remind yourself like, hey, this is all of this is temporary. All of this is gonna go. This is gonna go one day. And it's important to really think about that. And I'm blessed that I have some people in my life now who are Muslim, who are open, and we can talk about death, because most people in my family or around me, we don't really didn't like to talk about this stuff, because it brings them somewhere they don't like to be there mentally. So I'm glad I can talk to these guys and we can just chat it up. This is super crucial to know. So that super useful reminder. It's not gonna go away. It's not gonna go away. You'll forever face this question. So when I was getting into Islam, my fitra got awakened. I realized its truth, and then what I did, I ignored it, and I went about my way, living in this dunya for a few months. It caught up with me very quickly. It dawned to me like, hey, where are you running? What are you gonna do when you know you're gonna die, and you know that there is Allah, and you know these things? What are you gonna do? So yeah, it's just, where are you gonna go? It's even in one of the hadiths, like where I think, or in the Quran, I'm not sure, where Allah says, and where will you go? Where are you running? So run, my slave, run. You're already running towards me. Like in whatever direction you're gonna decide to go, it's all coming here. It's all going here. So you can't run. Where will you go? So yeah, it's a great reminder. So that's one point. And then I have a few other points. But yeah, let me read some comments. Dunya is the Matrix. In a nutshell, yeah. Did you hear Islamic song on death? No, Joe, I haven't. Let me know what's that. That is something that often pops in my head, and I often think, if you die doing this, how would you feel? And if you had to regret this, I choose not to do it, and vice versa. That's a great way to go about this. And it's for you, because you know as a Muslim that for every action you'll be held accountable. So before you do anything, if you remind yourself, hey, if I stand in front of Allah and He asks me about this, will I be able to justify what I just did here? Maybe that's, you went past, let's say, homeless person or mentally disabled person or physically disabled person on a wheelchair, and they were selling newspapers. And you went by them, non-Muslim, but you saw that they were really well-mannered and they were trying to improve their life. And they ask you, hey, do you want to buy a newspaper? And for you, you're fine. You can buy it for $1, let's say. And you said no, and you went by. Is this action going to cause you Jahannam? Because how could you justify, if you have the money, if you have the resources, if you have this, not helping this person who is in a clear need? And in whatever, maybe you don't have a cash. Hey, that's just an excuse. You should go to the ATM, take out the cash, and come back. This will maybe save you on the day of judgment. Like, take this seriously. This is a sign from Allah. Like, you see this person trying to make ends meet, and I'm not saying to help, like you have to just go to homeless people now and help them all, because you can't help everybody. But if you just come across the situation, let's say a few days in a week, you see this, you need to help them. As a Muslim, you need to. You don't have a choice. If you decide not to and you decide to ignore it, that's something you need to really be conscious of, that, hey, this can be something potentially that I can't really explain, because the only reason why I didn't help this person is because it's inconvenient for me. I don't really want to help them. I don't want to go to the ATM and lose like a few pounds for a few dollars. So yeah, those things are very good, Samira. Good point. So death is one thing. Alaikum salam, salam. Noya, what's going on? I was just going to say that death. Yes. People mix culture with Islam. I know, it's unfortunate. Anyways, the second reminder, the second reason, uh, what really is not a blind faith is really simple. Uh, and the reason is the not the fine tuning of the universe, but really the notion that there's existence, right? Something exists. We are in this world. Things have order. There's order in this chaos somewhere. Everything seems to be pretty well designed. And then the other perspectives of explaining this reality doesn't really explain the causal chain, the effect of the Big Bang. So if you really think about the creation of the universe or the entire existence, it's really difficult to justify the atheistic perspective because you don't have anything to work with there. You don't have basically any solid ground. So yeah, it's really a really great reminder to say like, hey, when I wouldn't be a Muslim, if you could prove to me that there's no intelligence behind this design, that this is all random, that's the point when I would consider not being a Muslim. But that's not possible because you can clearly see that I have five fingers. Five fingers. You have five fingers probably as well. I have a head. You have a head. I have a body. So why are we having five fingers? If evolution is random, if universe was created from random events and stars blown and then created more particles and they were formed together and they blew up again and then the earth formed, and I'm not saying this didn't happen, but I'm just saying like if those things happen randomly, there's no order in them, and galaxies, and then the evolution of species happened randomly. Why don't I have eight fingers? Why I have five? Why is there an order in nature? Why why is it like that? Everywhere is order. Even it's kind of chaotic, but there's order in these things. That leads you to conclusion that there must be. It's not random Big Bang. If it was random Big Bang, there would be different mutations. You would have different things. I would have seven eyes. I maybe have no eyes. There wouldn't be any human. Maybe there would. It would just be random things. But it's not random. It's finely tuned. It's perfect for life. It's perfect. Every human being is also designed perfectly. So what's the deal? Is this random? So that concludes like there's an intelligence behind the Big Bang. There's an intelligence behind the creation of the universe, because the universe had a beginning. We can all agree on that. So if the universe had a beginning, then and if you claim this was random, then you have a problem because it's not random. And that keeps you grounded as well to know like there's something behind this. Everybody feels it. Atheist, Buddhist, meditation, whatever you do, you feel something bigger than yourself in this life. You feel some higher power, meditation, universe, whatever you call it. You feel it everywhere. You know that it exists because you felt it in your dreams. You experienced it, right? Everybody feels it, but we just don't want to put a label on it. And then, we know what it is. We know what it is. And yeah, it just keeps you grounded. Like I can't, what can I do as a Muslim now? Can I go to Christianity? That doesn't make sense because they don't believe in Big Bang. They think the earth is 6,000 years old. So can I go to being an atheist where they say there's multiverse theories? Like, it doesn't make sense. So this is not blind faith. This is the proof. Like, I'm not talking about blind faith. Is there another solution? Tell me. If there is another if there is another option, how this entire universe began, then yes, I would consider looking into it. But there is nothing else. This is it. What else is there? If somebody can tell me, then that would be awesome. But yeah, that keeps you grounded because you don't have any arguments, natural selection, all this crap. This is nonsense. And then you have different faith groups that are not really answering this based on science. Like scientifically, we know the universe had a beginning. So if you tell me the earth is 6,000 years long or old and we lived with dinosaurs, which Christians believe, it's nonsense. Or if you tell me as a Buddhist or somebody like, no, there's a circle of life and it goes forever. Like that doesn't make any sense because who created life? Who was the first initiator, right? Um, yeah, so it's really important to really understand that there was a prime mover and that intelligence is everything. It's outside of the universe. And so once you have that, it's not that hard to conclude like, okay, based on this and the attributes of this source, what is matching to this? What is there something in this dunya that matches to this? And the only concept is Allah. The only concept is Tawheed. The only concept is Tawheed. Tawheed is better than what you and I think about God. It's better, and there's no other competition basically. So yeah, that's Tawheed, and then everything else is much easier. You know, all these other things, all these other problems are secondary. If you can be grounded in these two things, death, reminder of death, because it's gonna happen, and all the time you think about it. And if you think about it as an atheist, it makes you depressed. And then Tawheed, the oneness of God based on the source of the universe, the creation. That's all you need basically, because you can never leave those two premises. Where are you gonna go? What else can you believe? Tell me, because if you decide to opt out of Islam and believe in Christianity, you just said like, okay, I'm gonna ignore logical conclusions of science and I'm just gonna go with something that I don't know I like. Or if you just go being an atheist, you just said like, okay, I'm gonna ignore that this makes sense more, and I'm just gonna go with this atheism that is based on science that explains everything, but it doesn't tell me why I exist, what's the purpose of the life, or how did the universe begin. It just tells me how is it now. So is that a better option? Is that more rational? The only most rational option is this. Of course, I'm not saying that your faith is based on rationality only, but this is something that is irrefutable. Like you have to come to this conclusion based on a lot of knowledge, probably. Because I know a lot of Muslims are brought up in, let's say, their homes, and they don't really go in depth in these topics, or maybe their parents don't know how to answer these questions. And then when they get like 15, 16, they get indoctrinated in the West and they start questioning their faith. And since nobody knows how to handle their questions, they opt out. But what they didn't realize is they were just on the surface of the knowledge. So maybe they realized that there is a Big Bang. And maybe their parents don't know that there's a verse in the Quran talking about it. And so maybe they'll just say, hey, well, this proves the entire existence of Islam. And maybe the Muslim community doesn't know how to handle that. The older people. But they didn't realize that if you really go in depth in all the theories of Tawheed, of creation of the universe in the Quran, you realize like, okay, this goes much more in depth than atheism, and this makes more sense. But somebody has to show this to them. So great reminder. And I guess I'll say one more, and then we'll go through the comments. Because I thought I'm gonna just have two reminders, but I had an idea about another one, which is really the reminder of you. You exist. You have a consciousness. You have a soul. You know you have something in yourself that makes you different than this thing, or dog, or somebody like that. And people try to tell you it doesn't matter. But when you dream, what are dreams? Tell me, what are dreams? How can you even dream? How is this possible? That you see something in your head and you feel like you're in the dream. You feel like you're there, and then you wake up and you're in the dunya again. Like, what happened there? You have these experiences in your life. And we try to just say like, oh, dreams are normal. But are they? How can you say dreams are normal? You're taking your consciousness, it goes in the different dimension, it lives there. You think when you're dreaming, you think it's real. Then you wake up and you're back here. And you say, oh, dreams are fine. There's nothing wrong. This is material world. Dreams are fine. They can't explain dreaming or all these things, and then you get into, quantum mechanics and all those things where particles pop up from different angles and they behave differently when they are observed. But anyways, just the fact that you exist, you have a soul, you have a consciousness, That's something, the first-hand experience of a human being. You can't really just box it out into saying like I'm just a body full of chemicals and proteins and whatever and molecules, and there is no consciousness. It's just a mistake. This is evolutionary mistake in my head. This doesn't exist. I should just ignore whatever I'm feeling and just behave in this material world and just go to work and just buy something and make me happy. And that's what life is about. Just enjoying the life, and then I'll die, and I don't want to really think about death because it's depressing. So yeah, like my existence doesn't really matter. I'm just a ball of chemicals, and I was arranged in this matter. Now I'm a human. I have two arms, two legs, and it's good. And that's my life. Like how strange is this concept? How can even this? How can people even opt into this? But we've been brainwashed by. But really looking at this from a high level view, you're like, okay, what is the purpose of your life then? What doesn't it make you depressed? What if you die? What happens then? How do you deal with adversity in life? What about problems in your life? Do you drink? Do you get depressed? Do you go to therapy? All those things I don't have to do because I have my five salats. So mashallah. Let me see. Let me see. God is not reality to be explained. God is the explanation of the reality. Hey, man, that's good. Never heard that. Nice. Yeah, exactly. I like that. Have you read Chance or Creation, God's Design in the Universe? Haven't. I have a lot of books. I just did, I posted on my Instagram yesterday a ton of books I bought on the history of Islam and Sharia and all these things. So I'm getting into that. And I'm reading multiple books at the same time. So I will go through them. I'm making notes, and then I'll maybe do a video. And then I just bought a book about Muhammad's life, which I'm very excited for. And I want to really, from authentic sources, Muhammad's life from authentic sources, or something like that. Early, so that's a very good book. Yeah. What do you think about Sufism? I don't really want to talk about these things because I don't have enough knowledge. I just have a basic level understanding of Sufism, and it seems like they have the twisted understanding of the Quran. To be honest, I'm just a follower of the Quran and the Sunnah. What else? I don't think like, why would I even pray to somebody else than Allah? Like what? And Sufism, I think they took and made their own twist on a few things. So, but mashallah, I'm not here to judge. But my opinion is not really great. Like you can't. If you ask me about these things, it's just a diarrhea that comes from my mouth because it's not valid. This opinion, I just read on Wikipedia what is Sufism, right? So I can't have a good knowledge about it. I will have to become a Sufi and then leave it or something, or I will have to understand it more deeply to really give you something. So I have nothing. Richard Dawkins is very arrogant. Yeah, I was a few years back, like 10 years ago, I was a very big fan of Richard Dawkins and Harris, maybe all these dudes. But it's pathetic what they say. It doesn't make any sense. And they come with the angle of ignorance in it. So, yeah, crazy stuff. And what they say, like, you shouldn't teach your kids a religion. Like, how crazy is that? If you don't teach your kids religion, they go to school and they will go out as liberal, modern atheists. So they've been taught a religion, atheism, in the school. Atheism is not a normal position to have because you first have to justify that this is good. So why did we all agree suddenly that secularism is good? I'm not saying it cannot be, there cannot be secular countries. Of course, most countries are secular, and that's probably good. But, why would you assume that, atheism is the only way? I think we should definitely be able to raise our children in whatever belief system we have, and then of course they will have questions, and then we'll have to explain to them whatever questions they have. Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought. Islam is just another religion. Yeah, I didn't have a good perspective on it, and also, but from our perspective, atheism is also just another religion. For us, all these things, all these, like, this is my honest opinion, and maybe yours is different, but to me, Sufism, Shia, atheism, Christianity, they're all the same. They all deviate from the right path. I don't know why, but this is what they did. They all have pieces of truth in it, but I don't know why they do that. So the truth is clear, the path is clear, as they say in the Quran, as it says. So I don't know. To me, all the things that deviate from the middle path are wrong. But I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm just saying there is a clear path. The path is clear. So whatever you choose, atheism is just another thing. Christianity, just another thing. Whatever. Meditation, doing yoga. Mashallah. That's crazy, right? There is no evil, and he says it's the biggest evil in the world. Ah, man. I mean, some people are just too deep in their, crazy thoughts. Even your organs and every cell in your body have function. Exactly. Yeah. I was just reading between Islam between East and the West, and the president of Bosnia explains this very well. Where he gives examples of also your organs and your cells, and how your body functions, how your eye, just your eye, how many functions it has, how many layers, how perfectly it visualizes objects, and just to kind of tell you how, like, you should reflect on this. You did nothing to deserve this. This is being given to you. You're not even maintaining it. You don't even know that you are, like, your cells or something is going around in your body. Like when you, let's say you scratch your hand and you have blood, it heals. You didn't do anything. It just helped. It was healed by itself. So those are things you should ponder. Like, I have this body, but it's healing by itself. I have this stomach, and I eat. It goes here. It goes out. Like, what? Pretty insane. This is life. Just having a second of this life is amazing, dude. You should be so thrilled to have life. Just this second, watching this live stream, I just realized, like, this is crazy that I'm talking to you guys. And whether that's 18 people online around the world, it's pretty crazy idea that my consciousness sitting in this body of Jan in the Czech Republic with this fake, not fake mustache, but like this mustache that I'm trying to grow, that I'm able to transmit some information and you guys can talk to me. It's pretty insane, and I don't know. I'm just so happy. Like, as a Muslim, you can never be depressed. I mean, maybe you can, but you're doing something wrong. Oh, thank you. You like my mustache? Many people don't like it. Some people do. Because food gets stored in this mustache. We'll see. Do you have any logical answers behind interest? You mean economic? You mean like mortgages, loans, and all that, or interest as interest? If you mean money, I haven't really studied that much about the Islamic banking and all that. I just know. Just today, my friend Muslim was telling me that he wanted to buy a flat here in Prague for a few million, and he can't take out the mortgage because it's kind of haram. But yeah, that's why I'm stacking up my cash so I can buy a house in cash without any loans. I was like, so how do people take mortgages in your country to buy a house? And he was like, no, they just rent forever. I'm like, okay, makes sense. What's going on? Sammy, you like knowledge. Both Shia and Sunni practice Sufism. Really? Not sure about that. Not sure about that. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. We don't have to argue in this stream about these things. Guys, I don't really care about Sufism or Shia. This is not my concern. This is not why I became Muslim. I became Muslim because I know the truth. I realized the truth that there is Allah and then He had sent messengers and Muhammad is His final messenger. La ilaha illallah, Muhammad and Rasulullah, and then that Quran is His word. What else do you tell me is irrelevant for me. Muslims confuse Wallahi. Middle path is the safest. MashaAllah. Anyways, so okay, so what do you guys? So you tell me, guys, what is the best reminder for you? What is the best reminder for you to stay on the right path, to stay on the top of the? Because we all know that Iman goes up or down. Sometimes it goes down. What do you do then? How do you remind yourself? Do you reflect on your creation? Do you do all these things? Like when you get like something really that you can't sleep and you're like, oh man, what is this? What do you do? Do you, oh, my mouse. What's the best reminder for you? Tell me. As we said, there are many. Anyways, I have a few more minutes, so I'll be happy to chat about anything else. If you don't want to talk about reminders of Allah, reminders of what brings you back to a higher level of Iman, let me know if you have any questions, just regular questions about life here in Prague, life as a Slovak, life as all these things. And yeah, I would be very happy to answer them. My man is really down. Man, Phil, hopefully I could help. Well, let me know if you want. You can write me an email. Hopefully I'll answer because I get some emails and sometimes I don't. But if you have some personal question, let me know, uh, and hopefully I'll be able to answer. I had these cases as well where my iman was really low, and all those things. But you know, it's very difficult. You know, it's very difficult. But as a new revert, especially, I think you're at the same time frame as me. It's very easy to take out your iman and and to really just realize like, oh, I'm a Muslim now. Did I make a good choice? Because you're surrounded by these Muslims and they are reciting Quran. You don't even know how to read it. You're listening to this. You're trying to pray Taraweeh, but you don't know how. You're doing this. It sounds so strange, then they are really like strict with you, and you're like, man, this is getting crazy. And you can't really find someone to, some maybe friends, in the circle or something. And everybody around you is non-Muslim, so they all attack you, or maybe they ask you like, okay, tell me what you think about honor killings in Islam. What about fatwa on this guy when they killed him? And you don't know how to answer that because I researched it. I know, but you have these things and you're like, oh, I don't know. Or maybe they say, all these things. There's so many things in Islam that are misused, and maybe it creeps in some doubts, like, man. Or maybe you watch like ex-Muslims videos, and they have some point like, oh, my grandmother was killed by my grandfather because of honor killing, and Islam. And I watched one guy talk about this, and I'm like, what is this? This is not Islam at all. This is in India happening. This is not Islamic. It's not. There's nothing in Islam talking about honor killings. So these things, like, you have to really understand to differentiate between what's culture, what's Islam, what's really going on, and then really deeply understand the context of Islam, just like as a political system. It's a completely different system than the modern state. And you have to also understand what's the relationship to West now, because, for example, we can't really have an Islamic country in the West at this moment. Like, it's not possible. So, how would we go about this? How do we live in this Western world? Secular. Um, so many topics, so many books. So what I did, I'm just trying to, you know, like read a lot and stuff like that. And if you have like major things, make sure you research them thoroughly. And sometimes you have to go to the sources. Sometimes you have to talk to really educated people and some muftis and really get your answers, because they are not online, or they are very confusing online. And there are people who studied hadiths for their entire life. So you have to find some of these and tell them like, hey, some guy said that on the day of judgment, Quran will intervene. So that means and Allah has a body and nose and all that. Like, is this true? And then the guy who studied thousands of hadith will tell you, no, this is not true. They are misinterpreting different things. So very, very, very tough. But um, don't ever give up on this, dude. Don't ever give up, because going back is difficult. It's there's nothing there. You know that there's nothing there. You've been there already, so it's even gonna be worse. And this is what I did my first time. Before I said Shahada, I knew Islam was true, and then I ignored it. And few months I was living okay, but then one time I was drunk. I remember, I shouldn't expose my sins, but sorry. But I was not drunk, but I was in that kind of mindset and mindset. But I just reflected on something in me, and it was like very difficult. I was crying, like to know, like, I don't have any goal in life. I don't have anything. Like, I just gave up on something I really believed in because of some guy online told me something I didn't know how to react to. Like, why? What if there is an answer? Like, what if this can be understood? It's just, what if this is the truth? And then you really go deep and you go again. You do the fitra again, and it gets awakened. But be careful, man, and stay on the straight path. And pray. I pray to Allah, like, hey, please, Allah, increase me in knowledge, so that I can, know these things. And every day I'm increasing in knowledge, or something, and decreasing in doubts, and those kind of things help much. One way to go about it: reflect on the nature. Yeah, yeah, it's the same thing. Like, your body, nature. I'm just looking at the sky, like ozone layer, all those things. They know how to behave, So again, it kind of goes back to the intelligent design. Um, and if you really are doubting that, let's say, Phil, maybe like you have these major doubts, well, then tell me, what is the alternative? Like, try to think about this. Try to go into some philosophical debates on this, because you won't find any answer. You won't find it. Remember Allah. Yeah. If you and I were born and remain isolated from society, yeah. Like, for example, some guy told me, like, hey, so now that Islam is true, like, every Muslim goes to heaven and everybody goes to hell. Like, isn't that unfair? And I thought, like, yeah, that's pretty unfair. And then I thought about it. Wait a second, is this true? And then I researched, and majority of scholars agree that if people haven't been exposed to Islam, they will be judged differently on the day of judgment, because they didn't know the truth. So people of the book, Christians, Jews, or maybe people who have never heard of Islam, they lived on an island. They will not be judged. They will not go to Jahannam because of that. They will be judged differently. Only Allah knows how. But they won't be judged based on Islam. Only you as a Muslim. So those things, they take some time. You need like a teacher. You need someone to really give you knowledge, and you need someone, I don't know, online or locally. But I agree. If you were born, you just come to conclusion that there must be a creator. And what does he want? He wants me to pray. Why? Why does he need prayer? And there's a lot of like these atheist jokes, like God is like a needy girlfriend. He always needs prayer. Easy. Go to Surah. I don't know the name of the Surah, but then read, and it says like, uh, establish the five prayers, not because of like me. I don't like he doesn't need anything. Anything. Those five prayers are not doing anything for Allah. If you don't do them, or if you do them, but it's for your own salvation. You will be held accountable, not him. So again, misunderstandings. Draw a line between actions of Muslims and Islam. For sure, Muslims are not the great, not great. I'm a Muslim. Muslims are human beings. They all make mistakes. Uh, Islam is not. And we have this image of a Muslim like angry man with a beard, like shouting. Like we should just. This is not a Muslim. This is an image somewhere in the society. But mashallah. At the end of the day, yeah, it's all about Allah. If you travel against the truth, yes. Sufism. I don't care about Sufism, Sammy. Sorry. Arabic ex-Muslims call themselves atheists, but they never tell them all. Yeah, I mean, like ex-Muslims, they just say like, "Oh, I'm an atheist now." Like, why? Why did you opt out for that? Opted into that, and then you think like that's gonna help you? Like, is this living as an atheist? Is this better? I don't know. I used to be one. It doesn't seem like it. Um, and yeah, just look at like compare the level of violence in Hinduism with Islam. Why is Islam so persecuted if Hinduism has more violence and honor killings and all those things? What's bothering you? No, I mean, Phil, you can write me an email. We'll see what's up. Muslim Skeptic's good source. There's many sources, not just Muslim Skeptic, but Daniel is knowledgeable. But sometimes they can be very strict, and somebody needs to explain. If you have a liberal mind, liberal background, like, okay, how does this make sense? Because it makes me uncomfortable. This thought, much. Many sinners from which Allah save me. Yeah, me too. What's that? What evidence other than hearsay from your religion folklore can you see? I don't understand the question. What evidence other than hearsay from your religious folklore can you present that your God exists? That's just the question is bad because like I don't have to say God exists because the evidence is you exist. You exist, this world exists. That's the evidence. That's it. Game over. That's my evidence. That's it. Tell me how you were created. Now, if you explain it without the first mover, I'll become non-Muslim. Why do I have to be happy, go to school, complete education, have a family, have feelings if I'm just a bunch of atoms? Why Hitler and other people won't get punished? Yeah, the justice for those people. I mean, that's something also, but that's not something that I really draw me to Islam because I knew that this world is unjust. Uh, but yeah, just like that makes sense. Like after some time, you're studying, you're going to university, then you get your job, then you maybe start a business, you make money, you lose money, you go bankrupt, you start again, you make money, you get a wife or you get a girlfriend, you do this, and you start to realize like, what am I doing here? Like, what? What is the goal? Where's the GPS? Where am I going? Why do I do these things if nothing matters at the end of the day? You will ask that. and then you will get drinks, and you will start drinking alcohol. You will start doing drugs because none of this can please you anymore. This world, and that's it. Unless you reflect. Yeah, yeah. Like you can. The evidence is here all around us. So the question is reversed. Like, how can you claim that there is not a prime mover, that the everything here is not, if you have agreed that everything is random, so justify that position. You made a claim, everything is random, right? Universe is random, so why is it not random then? What, just simple, just look at Firas Zahabi, the UFC fighter. He's also a philosopher, and he talks about randomness, and that's pretty cool. I don't really like atheists. Don't really, they don't do nothing to me anymore. Their arguments are like weak. Sometimes I struggle with different sort of arguments, but atheism, I'm more concerned with Islam as a political system now, not like these sort of things. Yes. Yes. Exactly. They never punish until there was a messenger. Not only haven't we been exposed to Islam, but also those who were lied or lacked education, Allah is just and leave the judgment to Allah. Yeah, exactly. Like my family, not my family, but like let's say somebody in Europe, in Russia, not in Russia, Russia's not in Belarus, they hate Islam maybe. Of course, they don't. They have a bad example of what it means. Then they won't be judged accordingly. The evidence, evidence. What evidence? Here, you exist. That's my evidence. Your claim is this is random. My claim is it's not random. Let's talk about it. I have so many questions and doubts in Islam, but I have even more without Islam. Yeah, isn't that crazy? When atheists praise and quote someone like Ricky Gervais, I just feel bad. Yeah, I mean, Ricky is fine. He's a good guy, but not the smartest. Hey, what's going on? Reminders that increase my faith are death, my du'as that have been answered. Exactly. My du'as were all answered, all of them. So I know. Remembering the blessing from Allah, usually I'm remembering the blessing and also remember my sins. Yes. Also, I have some experiences like during Ramadan, which happened to me, supernatural. The feeling that I described in the video. I can't really forget about that. So I have the direct experience that is kind of secured in my position. MashaAllah. What's your next interview? Gabriel Al Romani. You guys know him? He has a YouTube channel, I think, and he has a good book for Muslim reverts. I'm just finishing it up today, so I'll let you know how that goes. But I'm gonna speak with Gabriel, and then a few other guys. I said Hamza the historian. We already recorded it, and other people. Mashallah. I can explain more on the topic of believers' psychology versus godless psychology, but we'll need to go into history. We don't have time for that. Questions and doubts are good if you know how to handle them. They should work as a motivator. At some point, yeah, exactly. Like at some point, all the doubts and questions will be actually like increasing your iman. Isn't that crazy? In the beginning, they're like, "Oh, I don't know why they are telling me about this," and this really they can be just like one video of David Wood or somebody bringing up a hadith and telling you, here, this is what the Prophet Muhammad did. And then you are like, what? And then you realize like this is not even authentic. Like who, what? You know, crazy. What about Big Bang? What about it, dude? It happened and you're here. Dikker, do you run for? No, I hate it. I used to be in politics. I used to be in a youth political organization, but my ambitions are far beyond politics. It's with Allah. So politics is for people who are too concerned with power and worldly gains, which I'm not. So at this stage, no. Maybe in the future, but at this stage, I'm mainly concerned about business and doing maybe dawah and just increasing my level of understanding of Islam for a few more years probably. And then why would I go to politics if I don't have anything like specific? Because I want to be really grounded in what I'm doing, what I believe, which I am. But, traces of Tawhid, yes. What is the future of Islam in Europe? Banned? I don't know. Depends. Depends which part of Europe. The Gabriel gang. Dr. Steph is really great. He is the man. What's the future of Islam and Muslims in the Western world? Uh, I don't know. We'll see. Uh, yeah, I haven't read all of them. Sorry, I'm just scrolling. I agree with sincerity. Again, future of Islam in Europe, in Bosnia, Turkey, and all these countries, I think it's gonna fade out. In UK and France and all these countries with large immigrant populations, it's gonna increase. And here in Central Europe, it's gonna be kind of like underground. That's the future. Nice. Okay, guys, I have to leave because I'm about to go. Dr. Zakir Naik, I think he's okay, but he made a couple of strange videos, and there's been a few people refuting him from the ulama. So I love who's the guy? Uthman from One Message Foundation. I don't know, but he's like the really good source. Anyways, thank you guys so much for stucking for being here. I'll see you next week, probably, inshallah. And I'm going to a dinner. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Kosovo Islam here, Muslim decreasing. Yes, I have a friend from Kosovo. Mashallah. So thank you guys for stopping by. It's a pleasure. It's an honor. In new interviews with Gabriel, new interviews with other people coming in at you. Maybe I'll do some other ones as well. But anyways, it was an honor to be here. Assalamu alaikum alaikum salam. And I'll see you next time.